Hey everyone, welcome back to another RestoreMySneakers.com video. In this episode of Sneaker Hunting on eBay, I'll be searching for two pairs of shoes. It was a pretty close race between these two pairs of shoes, the Chicago 10s and the black red Air Jordan 11s. And if you haven't heard already, the latest news that came up recently is that the Chicago 10s are slated to be released next year in January. Pretty sure that all of you are familiar with the format. The keywords that I will be using are Jordan Chicago. You can also use Jordan 10 and Jordan Roman numeral 10. And you can also use the product number. The product number for the original Chicago 10s is 130209-108. So I already have Jordan Chicago typed in. I already clicked search. I'm going to narrow it down to men's shoes. There are 23 results. You can also click the include description box on the far right hand side underneath the search button. But if you do so, you're going to end up with different kinds of Jordan Chicago, such as the Chicago 1s or the Chicago 2s, the nicknames that are usually associated with different Jordan shoes. Now, the first one that pops up is a pre-owned pair. All the pictures are included in links, so you're definitely going to want to copy paste. If there are any pictures missing, such as the tags or any type of heel drag, you're definitely going to want to ask the seller for more pictures. Now there is a deadstock pair, size 9.5. The seller includes some really clear pictures. You can definitely tell that it has not been worn. And one thing, behind the tongue, you should have a size tag. If you have the the Air Jordan patch from like the previous retros on the tongue, then stay away from it. It should have a size tag behind the tongue. Also on the ankle is a printed size of whatever size the shoe may be. For instance, this is a size 9.5, so it has a printed 9.5. And the insole should have Nike Air stamped on it, unless if it's worn, then it might have rubbed off. Something that's common with Jordan 10s is near the Jumpman's foot, it tends to, most of the used pairs I've seen, they tend to have a lot of heel drag around that area. And also with a lot of used pairs, the Phylon midsole tends to deteriorate. And I have seen some pairs actually split. So in terms of wearability for a used pair or even a deadstock pair, it's something that you might probably want to avoid. Also, what you can do, wait, there's another pair for $5,000. Now, I can't really tell you how much these shoes are worth. And with all these shoes, it depends on how much you're willing to pay. And if you're willing to pay $5,000 for a deadstock pair with OG everything, then, you know, go for it. If not, then you might want to just wait it out, or if you want to settle for a used pair or even the upcoming retros that come out next year. Now this is good. The seller includes tag photos. Tag meaning that he included a piece of paper with his username to prove that those are his shoes, and he does have them on hand. And he also provides a receipt. Another thing that you can do is click on completed listings, which I already did beforehand, and you can usually check for how much a pair might have ended in the within past month or less. For instance, there was a pair that ended with the best offer of $1, but technically when that happens, the seller and the buyer did the transaction outside of eBay, or they sent money as a gift. So technically the auction did not end for $1. It ended for way more than that. And it also says right here, I will let them go for 675 shipped if you can pay directly via PayPal. Now, in a future episode, I'm going to cover protecting yourself using PayPal, such as paying with the confirmed address, or shipping to a confirmed address, and paying through gift payment and all that other stuff. So we'll have an episode on that. As I mentioned, the Chicago 10s are slated to come back out in January of next year. And don't quote me on this, but from my past experience, whenever there's an upcoming retro, the older versions tend to just pop up and flood eBay. So there's a good chance that you may see more OG Chicago 10s on eBay from now until the release. Now, the next shoe that I'm going to search for is the Black Red Air Jordan 11. Now, or better known as the Bred 11s by most. Now, the thing about Air Jordan 11s, it's one of the most commonly counterfeited Air Jordan shoes out there. So you definitely want to do your homework. There's several video guides on YouTube that cover how to tell a real Air Jordan 11 from a fake one. And you should be able to find some guides on NikeTalk.com and as well as Soul Collector forums. Now, the keywords that I'm going to be using are Jordan Roman numeral 11. You can also use Jordan numerical number 11, or use the product numbers, or use Jordan Bred as BRED as your keywords. Now, it may be a lot now searching for Jordan 11s may be tedious on eBay. So you're going to have to visually filter through every listing to find a pair of Air Jordan 11s. Now, if you're looking for a particular size, such as like a size 10, that should make it a lot easier to find. So I already typed up Jordan Roman numeral 11. I'm going to narrow it down to my size range, which is 10 for the OGs and the 2001, and I wear a 10.5 in the countdown pack version. Now, as I pointed out, a lot of other shoes pop up in the listings, and that's just for the sellers to generate more searches or more views for their listing. And as I mentioned, you're going to have to visually search each listing for a Black Red Air Jordan 11 that may pop up. So what I did was actually pick a pair from I actually got an OG pair, 2001, and a countdown pack version already ready. So the original version, the way to tell that if it's original, it should have this white trim on the edge of the patent leather. And if you're still in doubt, make sure you check the tag. The tag should have the year, which is 95, and the product number of 130245-062. Now with the 2001 version, the 2001 version does not have that white trim around the edge of the patent leather. And the tag, the product number should be 136046-061. And with the box, you want to make sure that this is the box tag that you do see whenever you're searching for a Black Red Air Jordan 11 or any Air Jordan 11s from 2000 and 2001. And it should have, and if you wear a size 10 and up, the one should look like this. If the one has a weird looking pattern to it, then most likely it's counterfeit. And the thing about Air Jordan 11s is that in the ankle area it tends to crease up, and also on the OGs and the 2001, the 23s tend to stretch out, unlike the countdown pack version, which tends to peel and crack off. Also, if you're buying a used pair of black red Air Jordan 11s, you want to look for the creases in the midsole. Usually that gives you an idea of how many times the shoe has been worn. Also look at the soles. For instance, this pair right here, there is a lot of heel drag. It's already started to fade the black herringbone traction pattern. So depending on whether you're looking for a pair that's well worn or if you want to make sure that your shoes last a little longer, look for a pair that has no heel drag, such as this one. Also, you want to check the carbon fiber plate. With this pair, I can see some cracks in it, and usually when the carbon fiber on the Air Jordan 11 starts to crack, it starts to crack even more with more wear. So keep that in mind. Also, the patent leather, look for any cracks near the flex points. That's really common. Also, the patent leather tends to get wavy after a while. I don't really know how to explain it, but I think it has to do with the nylon fabric underneath causing it to become wavy. And the last one that I'm going to be looking at is the countdown pack version. There are B grade versions of the countdown pack. It should come in an orange box with the correct tag, the correct box tag for an Air Jordan 11. If it doesn't, then it most likely will come with half the countdown pack box as shown. Now the key thing about the countdown pack version is that the Jumpman on the left shoe faces the other way as opposed to the OG in the 2001. And the product number on the countdown pack version is 136046062. And again, with the countdown pack version, you want to make sure if you're looking for a used pair, make sure that the 23 in the back is intact. If it's not, then it's going to be a problem. You really can't do anything to fix that. You might be able to iron some iron-ons onto the back, but don't quote me on that. Not too long ago, I did encounter a pair of black red 11s, the 2001 retro on eBay. The seller had a buy it now of $125, and I got a little hesitant. As I mentioned in our first episode of sneaker hunting on eBay, there's instances where you might be hesitant about clicking the buy it now, or you just go for it. So I played it safe. I asked the seller a question about the shoes. And by the time the seller answered my question, which the shoes were actually sold, and and the information that the seller gave me, the extra pictures, the shoes did come out to be legit. So I did miss out on a deal, and clicking that buy it now is a risk. If you take it, you may be able to get a good deal, or if the shoes end up being not as described, then you're gonna have to go through all the hassle of trying to return it and get your money back. And if you play it safe, then you avoid going through all that hassle. But before we end, make sure to post down below what sneaker you want us to look for in our next episode. Also, if you have a story about whether you were able to get a steal or you missed out on something, also post that also down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to stay tuned for our next episode.